Last night on a red-eye flight from the West Coast, an elite committee of analysts, savants, and people who aren't fans of my haircut fought and toiled and burned the midnight jet fuel to concoct the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege for the first version of 2026 NBA tiers. I think.
A little bittersweet, however.
Oh.
NFL tiers, it's basically year-round experience.
Yeah, of course.
But it certainly starts prior to week 1 with the full league. NBA tiers, we're 2/3 of the way done with the season.
Yep.
Which means these 6 teams
Already go.
will never make the tiers.
Never.
These 6 teams eliminated. Grand opening, grand closing. For the Kings, Pacers, Nets, Wizards, Pelicans, and Jazz.
I can't argue any of those.
And by the way, because Rick Carlisle came out and said the NBA is really trying to shake down the Pacers about the tanking. The Pacers are not the tanking problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
The Pacers have tried to be competitive year after year after year. Their best player pops his Achilles in Game 7 of the finals, taking a year off.
Well, guess what?
What?
There's another team in the East whose best player popped their Achilles, and they're doing just fine.
But they have a way better infrastructure, and they're
well,
a better
that's
team.
what I'm just saying.
That's
it's not just like, well, it looks like we're headed to the lottery.
Well, they're trying. The Pacers.
Are they?
I mean, a little bit.
The Siakam strike. All right, time for the tiers. Not eliminated, but unwatchable. The Bucks without Giannis are unwatchable, flatly.
Yeah.
The Bulls are like, hey, you guys didn't tell us we were going to have to start tanking as early as you guys are. They're trying to catch up.
Right.
They're not going to get there. And the Grizzlies are just kind of a sad reminder. They're like a dead mall. It's like, you know what? This used to be. I have memories here. The Radio Shack, that was good. And now
the ticket prices?
Free, I would imagine.
Yeah, like
$1.50.
Yeah, it's like $4.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
Next line.
It's terrible.
Like many bad marriages, in it for the kids. We're here for Cooper Flagg, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple for the Hornets. I don't want to leave Brandon Miller out.
Yes.
He's been excellent, and the Hornets are frisky-ish. The Mavs are not. But if you're a fan of those teams, it's not about this year at all. Mm-hmm. It's about watching your young star or young stars grow up and evolve. Maybe something in 2027.
Interesting.
The Blazers.
Yeah.
Building around Denny.
Scoop.
Okay, Scoop.
It was a bad call. I'm gonna let it go.
Listen, you miss 100 of the shots you don't take. Shaden Sharp, like they're trying to build something in Portland. Credit to them. The Hawks. You have Jalen Johnson. All of a sudden, unshackled Jonathan Kuminga. I think last night was probably an aberration, but we'll see. But most importantly, maybe the number 1 pick. Because remember, they have New Orleans pick. And New Orleans is one of the eliminated teams. And even if it's not number 1, so it could be DeBanza, it could be Peterson, could be Wildes guy, Cam Boozer, whomever. And for Miami,
those guys are all going to be excellent.
Correct.
Excellent.
I think you have 3 guys that are the caliber of a typical number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Not Cooper Flagg, but a typical number 1 pick. And Miami, I think, is going to take one more shot at Giannis in the offseason and see how that goes. Hardest of ceilings. Suns, Raptors, Warriors, Magic. I would be stunned if any of these teams win a round. And I am going to go ahead and say it is impossible for any of these teams to win 2 rounds. And so the Warriors, it would have been different, obviously, if Jimmy didn't get hurt. The Magic are very disappointed that this is where they found themselves. Obviously, great win for them last night. But when you trade 5 firsts or 4 firsts for Bane, it's not because you think you're going to be one and done in the playoffs again. The Raptors, kind of a positive season. The Suns, a positive season, but the Booker injury and Dylan Brooks breaking his hand, it's going to put him in guaranteed in the play-in. And then you're playing OKC in round 1, or you're playing the Spurs. It's a disaster. On the right night, catch any of these teams on the right night, and you're like, ooh, if Luka's cooking, LeBron is doing, kind of Swiss Army knife stuff, and Austin Reeves is giving you 30, it's like, man, they'd be a beast to deal with over 2 weeks. But on the wrong night, it's like, oh, but they don't defend anyone. Their guys don't fit together. Sixers, similar story. Not they don't fit together. Maxi's been first-team All-NBA-ish caliber this year. Embiid, when he's been playing the last couple months, has been excellent. Edgecombe's a great rookie, but you just don't feel like it's sturdy. And I think the Timberwolves are a little disappointing this year after back-to-back conference finals, but Ant isn't. Right. Ant has been just about as good as anybody in the league this season on both ends of the court, but it doesn't feel like they do that on a night-to-night basis as much as they need to. Very good teams, yet disappointing. All four of these teams are very good, and I'll get to the Clippers in a second, but I think underachieving their preseason expectations. The Cavs, last year, they were the best team in the East until they needed to be. They fell apart. They thought, all right, no Pacers, no Tatum, it would be us. They haven't been that all year. The Knicks feel like, okay, this is our moment for the same reasons. They have been inconsistent all year. The Rockets didn't go all in, but went, semi all in getting Durant, and they don't seem to be in a markedly better position than they were. Last year, they were the 2 seed.
Yeah, they are.
They're not in a better position. And the Clippers, listen, they haven't been at 500 since they were 3-3. However, they are 21-9 since starting 6-21. So what's disappointing is that they dug themselves such a massive hole. And I think because of that, they traded Harden, they moved on, but maybe they feel like the Garland-Kawhi combo when Garland's back is going to work. Kawhi's been unbelievable. Brew will hate this one. Godzilla versus Mothra. Nuggets and Spurs. Are you familiar with that, KW?
I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with Godzilla. I'm not totally familiar with Mothra. Is that the big moth?
Great context clues. Hub's the image. This is a Jokic-Wemby playoff series. Jokic, Godzilla, the giant moth is Wemby. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just take a second here? I don't even know. Maybe we go to break or something.
No, go ahead.
What was going on while we were gone?
What do you mean?
You talking about Godzilla? You talking about Pokemon? You talking about Charizard? You just feel like you got into like some cartoons or something?
I've read when I was meeting with the executives that I told you about while you guys were on the beach, I got some demographic data about the show, and we need to skew a little younger. So I'm trying to,
Is that true?
So Gianna has given me some words to use on the show. I haven't really.
Yeah, because you're talking about other memes. You just keep on bringing up memes.
Gianna says I need to talk about guys mogging more, but I don't know what it means.
That's why you've been
That's what
on
she told
fleek.
me. What?
No,
so,
bro,
that's where
that is-
Younger words.
No, that's
bro.
not, bro.
No.
You've been
Bro,
on fleek.
No, that's
No,
not, that's
I
not-
think that was 5 or 6 years ago.
No, I think longer.
Maybe. Gianna, is it back?
Yeah.
Gianna says yes.
Okay.
On fleek, it's back.
Go back to the tiers, please.
Sorry.
Point is this. I don't know if the bracket's going to allow it, but man, I'd love to see Jokic versus Wemby for 2 weeks in round 2
That
of the
would be
playoffs.
awesome.
That would be so great if we can get that as a 2-3
Might.
matchup. Now, Denver, after starting 20-6, is 16-16 in their last 32.
Yeah, the injury.
So, and the injuries, but it would be such an interesting contrast in styles between those two guys. I just really want to see it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Every quarter century, the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons in the early 1960s, Brew, made the playoffs, I think, 6 years in a row and made a conference
Dave Bean?
finals.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons then, quarter century later, in the late 1980s, made 3 straight NBA finals. The Detroit Pistons then, a quarter century later, in the early aughts, made 6 straight conference finals, won a ring, and made another finals. It's been about 25 years since then, and they are the number 1 seed in the East, and they check all the boxes except for preseason belief. You know what I mean? They have a legitimate MVP candidate. They play good defense. They're well coached. They're deep. All those things, but they weren't one of the top 5 preseason picks. Yet I don't have them atop the East in the tiers because of the looming threat that is Boston.
This is fascinating.
I have been so blown away by the job Joe Mazzulla, Jaylen Brown, and the entire Boston supporting cast has done. Not just holding down the fort, but playing great basketball, winning basketball, analytically brilliant basketball, even if stylistically you don't love it, while Tatum's not playing.
Yeah.
I think it's very on the board that Tatum is back in the next few weeks. And if that's the case, I don't think they need All-NBA first-team Jason Tatum to be a championship contender. They just need Jason Tatum to be 70% of Jason Tatum because of where they are right now. But they're still not the favorites. That, of course, is OKC with this one question, Brew. Are they bored or are they flawed? Because after the 24-1 start, they're good, but not unbelievable 21-13. In the last 17, they're 10-7. Now Shea's been out for a
And
piece.
they've been winning without
And
Shea.
right. It's not like they were all those. A lot of those losses came with Shea. Is this the lethargy of a long season as a defending champ? Once it was clear they weren't going to break the Warriors record, it's like, who cares? I don't know if I can chalk it up to that because they have not locked up the 1 seed. And if they were to make the finals, they're basically tied with Detroit for home court in the finals. That were the matchup. So these games do matter. They're the best team, but they don't seem as invincible as they did 2 months ago. That's the first edition of
Great
Tears
tears.
Brew.
I like
bad.
it. Oh, no.
Not bad.
How many bonus takes do you have?
About 3.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Quickly, put it back up. Couple quick ones. Look, I agree. Boston with Tatum. If you're baking in Tatum to this, then they got a good. My pick is Detroit in the East.
Wow.
But if Tatum comes back,
Yeah.
Boston could win the East.
Yeah.
It's Detroit or Boston. All right. Second take, bonus take, the Timberwolves I want higher. Like, I think they're very dangerous. They're 2-1 against OKC and 2-1 against San Antonio. So I get it that it's been a bit of a disappointing year, but I think they're very capable of turning it up in the playoffs, and I think they're dangerous. So I would raise them higher. But my main take is I got to put Godzilla versus Mothra on the second line, right below the
So you think the
Thunder.
3 best teams are in the West?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I do. Look, the East is the JV. San Antonio just went into Detroit's house, took their best punch, and I mean that literally. Like, Detroit really got physical with them, to their
I think
credit.
Detroit's best punch is a literal Isaiah Stewart.
Well,
punch.
yeah, Isaiah was
Yeah.
missing, but they took that physical play and beat them by double digits in Detroit. They've beaten Boston. The Spurs are 7-1 against the what is that? Top 5 teams on your tiers. They're 4-1. 4-1 against OKC. Beat 1-0 against Boston, 1-0 against Detroit, 1-0 against Denver. And I'm more so obviously focused on the Spurs. I think they're Denver healthy, that'd be, as you said, a great series. But I just think the Spurs, we talked about it yesterday, they have it all. There's nothing other than their youth.
Yes.
There's really nothing you would point to and say they lack this. Detroit lacks shooting. Obviously Boston isn't fully whole yet. Even OKC has injury issues. They have nothing going on in San Antonio that is a negative except being so young and inexperienced. So I would move the Spurs particularly up to second, and you can throw Denver up there with them.
I think that's a very fair critique. I'm not sure I agree with you that the East is the JV if we're talking about the best.
upper echelon?
Yeah, like the top 4 or 5 teams in each conference. I think, if we did a draft of them, so to speak, that there would be more back and forth. Certainly the bottom of the East and the West is better. But I think at the top, I think, and I do not believe we are going to get this player this year, but if Jason Tatum came back and was 100%, I think that's the best team.
Wow.
I
mean, this is just fantastic.
I
just
Go
feel
ahead.
like I've done a great job.
You?
I feel like I'm
What
like
have
a
you
coach
done?
a little bit.
You think you're my
Like
coach?
I'm kind of proud of you right now. Is that fair?
So you're all in on the Celtics.
Well, it's just like New England in general, and I feel like you were kind of reviled a little bit.
I think I probably am still reviled.
Still, but I also did it with Denver, and I'm like, let me see if I can pull another rabbit out of my hat. Maybe I can get him to get onto the Celtics.
What helped me with the Celtics is you haven't talked about them in a year.
Well, good news.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are underrated by the world, but properly rated here.
Wow.
I think you did a great job.
This is you're including Jason Tatum.
So I had two graphics, and I just switched the order because I want to show the home road splits on just how wildly effective they've been in both spots. So they're 9-1 in their last 10. They just came off this road streak.
Remarkable.
Everything,
That is incredible.
right? So they just are playing a really. I mean, I guess this is a
They're
great
the exact
to
same
Missoula.
team. Yeah.
And I don't look. Tatum's gone. They seem like a very similar team. Jaylen Brown was gone last night. They seem like the same team.
I think
so
they're
it's really
5-1
just a
without
strong,
Jaylen
yeah.
Brown, which
And they
is-
win those games pretty easily.
Yeah.
So here's the because they trounced the Suns last night, and the Suns didn't put up much of a fight offensively.
Suns also without their two leading scorers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that vaulted them to number 1 in the scoring defense. So they've got the best defense scoring-wise in the league. So this is how good their defense has been the last few years. And the reason why I wanted this second is this. When we talk about Tatum coming back, obviously a plus. But I think when you think about Jason Tatum coming back, at least me, I see him shooting threes and getting to the rack and making those little finger rolls. I don't see him slapping the floor, playing defense with an Achilles that's recovering.
Well, I mean, he's even coming off Achilles, he's a better defender than Peyton Pritchard. He's better. He's not he's going to be a better defender than the guy whose minutes he's taking. Even fully healthy, Jason Tatum's an excellent defender.
Yeah.
Even post Achilles, I think he's not a better defender than post Achilles in recovery. He's not a better defender than Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Right. But those guys, he's not taking minutes from those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those guys are going to be playing the same amount.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about defense. Maybe.
So you're not worried at all about fit or taking some guys?
No, I think the system just works perfectly.
I think
they're a real team
I
that
agree
really
with
likes
that.
each other. But I am a
think
little
it'll be
bit nervous. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I would rather have Tatum.
Well, I think that's part of what they'll do. Like, if you can't play defense the way we want you to play defense, let's just wait. It doesn't hurt the Celtics at all to wait until next season.
But unless it costs them a chance to win the title.
But
that hurts them.
You don't want, just to follow up your point, you don't want Jason Tatum out there not able to really get after defense.
Oh, I agree. But I don't think he would come back if he felt like athletically he is not recovered. I think there'll be rust, there'll be, getting your wind, those things, but I think he'll only come back if athletically he's recovered. And to be clear, me coming around, if you will, on Boston has nothing to do with you or your coaching or anything. And to be honest, watch this. It has to do with, while you're the mayor of fair, I'm trying to do something this basketball season. I'm trying to fair max. Fair maxing? Yeah, fair maxing.
What's fair maxing?
Well, it's a thing the young people do. They just put maxing on the back of things, like fitness maxing or style maxing. I'm trying to fair max.
Yeah, I saw something max.
Exactly.
I don't know what it was.
Exactly. It's
I can't
big
remember
amongst
what
the
it was.
young people.
Troll max. There's some max.
No, don't do that, Bruce.
Some
Don't
max.
troll max.
No,
that
there's
sounds
some
bad.
max.
It's a lot of maxing. Yeah,
There is.
Yeah. Also, clavicles are big. I don't get it.
Clavicles?
They're big.
I'll tell you what, slang isn't what it used to be.
Gianna told me. We're trying to get the young people, and they hit themselves in the face with hammers.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah,
they
they do.
punched themselves.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.